Chase, Nye, touchdown. The linebacker picked it up. That was not a forward pass. First down and 10 football.
Inside handoff. Oh, on the bootleg. Grease, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Williamsport, great keep.
First quarter, on their third play from scrimmage, quarterback Brent Burley's pass gets picked off by Logan Ott and returned for a touchdown to put the Warriors up 7-0.
Play action. Coleman good. Back to pass. Got a man there going up. What a catch! 25, 20, 15, 10, touchdown, 67 yards.
Pass, steps up, wants it all, throws, got Brock Boyer down the field. Nice, did he catch it? Touchdown, Brock Boyer. Good coverage, Dallas Grease. Kavanaugh back to pass, looking deep out. Watkins has it at the 20, 15, 10,
gonna
5.
score a touchdown.
He's going to score a touchdown. Touchdown.
With 6.2
touchdown,
seconds
Reese
left.
Watkins. Reese Watkins scores with 6 seconds to go from 30 yards out. Chase Kavanaugh to Reese Watkins again. That's the second time. 6 seconds to go, and he is in for the score.
Welcome to Touchdowns and Tailgates, powered by the Fairfield Auto Group. Doc Massey with me from the Sun Gazette. Always good to see you.
Likewise.
Hard to believe we're through the regular season and it's playoff time.
It's hard to
In
believe.
the words of Coach
crazy.
Jim Moore, right?
Yeah, playoffs.
Playoffs.
Yeah, hard to believe, but part of me's sad that the season's almost over, but part of me's really excited too that we got some playoffs coming up.
So let's get right into it. We'll do a playoff preview, then we'll do the players of the week.
Okay.
So let's start with single A.
Okay. Single A is really balanced field. I think any four of these teams could win it. We got South is the 4 seed. They're playing at Canton, and we got Muncie is the 3 at Sarah, and both games could go either way.
So we're rooting for Muncie and South to win, and then they would play at Muncie, right?
Play at Muncie, yeah.
That would be a great Webb Weekly Live game, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. And those, both these games are going to be great battles. And South is the 4 seed, but it wouldn't surprise me if they win the whole thing. I think they have that ability, and the most battle-tested team by far.
And definitely balanced there 1 to 4. Probably the most balanced out of any of the playoff levels, right?
Absolutely. I think the other ones you could say there's 1 or 2 clear favorites here. Any of the 4 teams could win it.
Should we talk about Double A, the Southern Columbia Invitational, or should we just let it alone?
It's the Southern versus Mount Carmel. I think just put those 2 in the finals and be done with it. I think Wellsboro and Troy will win the other semifinals and include some nice seasons. But that's it.
I'll start here. There's no way teams that are 3 and 7 should make a district playoff.
Especially 3 of them like there is in Double A.
In Double A, there's 3 and 7 teams.
Yep.
You should just start with 5 teams, do buys. But no, wait. Towanda playing Southern?
Yeah.
That game's a mercy rule before Towanda gets off the bus.
Absolutely. That's they can put 150 on them, I think, if they wanted to. That's just no contest.
3A.
3A is good. 3A is a good field, and
might be the best 3A field in the state at that level.
Yeah. Even Shamokin's 3 and 7, but even them against Montoursville in the 1-8 game is not a terrible game. Shamokin was 15 yards from beating Mount Carmel last week, so
absolutely, and
so that's a good game.
And you got the 2 seeds Loyalsock. We're here at Loyalsock Ken Robbins Stadium, and obviously we're going to host Mifflinburg. That'll be our Webb Weekly Game of the Week with Paul Bowe and Coach Zalonis, but Mifflinburg's got players back. That could be a better matchup.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Sock won the first one, 35-0, but Gary DeGroat, the quarterback, was out. Mason Breed, their workhorse running back, was out. Riley Stahl got hurt. He's one of the better players in District 4. So it's a much different Mifflinburg team. And they're coming off a win over Lewisburg. So I think Sock's the favorite, but it could be a good battle.
And at the end of the day, we're both rooting for a district final of Loyalsock and Montoursville.
That would be exciting for the area, that's for sure. That'd
Absolutely.
be a lot of fun. And, but yeah, Lewisburg plays Warrior Run in a 4-5 game. That's exciting. And Central Danville in a 3-6 game, so I think there's 4 pretty solid contests here.
So let's go 4A.
Yeah, Jersey Shore, the top seed, but I think they have the tougher of the 2 semifinal games against the surging Shikellamy team that's won 3 in a row. Selinsgrove Midwest in the other one, but if Shore plays the way it's capable of, the way it has the last few weeks, I think you're looking at them and Selinsgrove for about the feels like the 20th straight year.
It is.
Final.
Those two have been very consistent, reaching the district final, and it'll be a good one. Selinsgrove's improved.
Yeah, Selinsgrove, they played Montoursville really tough, held them to 17 points, and it'll be a good battle.
And I can hear Coach Grabish in my ear. We're not playing Selinsgrove, Jim. 1 week at a time we're playing Shikellamy.
Oh, absolutely.
But,
and they can't look that game past. I mean, they can't look past that game. But again, I think if they do what they should get to the final.
And another one we're rooting for, obviously, the Bulldogs, who've probably been the most consistent team in the district week in and week out, but with the exception of Montoursville.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
Jersey Shore's been very good. Every week, and they've played a very good schedule.
Yeah, and they're surging at the right time. The 42-0 win over Bald Eagle area 2 weeks ago was a statement game. This is what they've done under Tom Grabish. They've consistently gotten better throughout the season. I think that's a testament to him and his staff that year after year they start playing their best football at the perfect time.
And of course, we have no 5A, so we get to 6A, and I have to say there's no way a 3-7 team should be in the playoffs. Williamsport struggled through to get injuries, tough season. Yeah. Now they got to go to the 3-7, got to go to Del Valley.
Yeah, that's a long road trip for what likely is a quick exit. They lost 53-0 to them a couple of weeks ago, and it's good at least for these young kids to get a taste of playoff football. But I can't see any way that this goes well for them, as banged up as they are right now.
No, and there's a give the 1 seed a bye. Yeah. But I think what's the second team's record? That's 2 seed.
They're 6-4.
6-4.
So
3 seed.
5-5.
So give the 1 seed a bye. The 2 and 3 go at it. So.
Yeah, and I think that would be in District 4 AA. I think you could go 6 teams, give the top 2 teams byes, and have 2 games in the first round. I think that would be because right now you have 8 of the 10 teams making the playoffs.
Exciting time of the year.
Yeah.
So who's our players of the week for the last week of the season?
Yeah, I'll go a couple of them. I'll go Montgomery with Cade Drick, running back, ran for I think 185 yards and 3 touchdowns, and they get another game now. They get to play Northwest in the Eastern Conference Finals, and Drick has a shot at a 1,000-yard season now. He's really come on strong.
And that's a good thing, the Eastern Conference playoffs for that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And as young as they are too, they got a lot of their players coming back next year, and now it's good for them to get another week of practice and get a playoff game under their belt and a chance to end the season on a really high note. And the other one I'll go, I saw Warrior run on Saturday at CMBT. I'll go with Kenny Newman, a 2-way starting lineman. He was opening up some truck-sized holes on the offensive line, and that was all over the quarterbacks, just blowing plays up in the season. So give the lineman a little love.
I'll always love that, and solid season there for Warrior Run.
Yeah, first winning season in 13 years, and now they have a chance to win the first playoff game in program history against Lewisburg, so it's an exciting time down there.
Well, we'll see you next week.
Looking forward to it.
We'll take a commercial break. We'll come back with some Loyalsock Lancers.
For over 33 years, Fairfield has been proud of what we sell and service. That's why we put our name on everything we sell. So whether you visit our Ford location in Williamsport or Montoursville, or our Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealerships in Muncie or Danville, or our Chevy Cadillac dealership on Route 15 in Lewisburg, you'll always experience great customer service during and long after the sale. Fairfield, you're gonna love us.
And we're back on the bench at Ken Robbins Stadium. I got head Lancer coach Justin Van Fleet.
Thank you for having us again today. I always appreciate your coverage and certainly taking care of the kids for so many of these games.
And I have to be honest, thanks for accommodating me with the bench. I got a little lower back problem here, and it feels a lot better in standing up.
Well, you played on hard surfaces in the past, and football is a wonderful idea when you're young. As you get older, it's not quite as much. I can't hold up a ball for more than 5 minutes because my shoulders are hurting. Your legs and back are hurting. And most people who play football, you have those unfortunate honors of the game.
We should tell these young folks that, right? Nobody ever told us, did they?
No.
So hey, Key and Peele style. Somebody asked me what Key and Peele style. Key and Peele, if you get a chance, they do an All-American college team. It's very humorous. And Muncie, they want to man actually, at Warrior Run, introduced himself from Warrior Run University, which was pretty good. But we'll start here. We'll start with you, young Mr. Polito.
I'm Simone Melito, and I'm a linebacker.
What year are you, son?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior by now?
Oh, yeah.
It's hard for me to believe. It makes me old.
I know.
How about you?
I'm Chase Kavanaugh, and I'm a junior.
I'm Aiden Gare. I'm a linebacker. I'm a senior.
And obviously I know these guys, but it's always a good way to start the segment. Let's start with Aiden. Playoffs, okay? Mifflinburg coming to town. Give me a quick overview.
We're just trying to not repeat what happened last year. We expected to at least get the district championship game last year, and we just got blown up by Shamokin. Like, we were just surprised by that. So this year we just want to turn that around.
And Mifflinburg, you played them once this year. They got some kids back, but Mifflinburg always wants to be Loyalsock, it seems, and I know you guys will be ready for them.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get them at their full strength, so, I mean, there's definitely stuff to look out for. I mean, once you play a team, you know their strengths and weaknesses, so it's going to be a tough one.
Gotcha. And Coach, we didn't know if it was going to be Danville. We didn't know if it was going to be Mifflinburg. It ended up being Mifflinburg. Either way, obviously the Danville-Loyalsock thing's become a good rivalry game. But Mifflinburg, you know, they'll come hard and they'll come tough.
Yeah, they're a very strong team. I said after the game, Coach Dressler and I talked after we played. We talked about, you know, that they were recovering from so many injuries, and we're looking forward to playing at full strength. You want to be able to play a team when they're at their best, and you know, for them it's an exciting thing for their community. For us, it's exciting for our community, and you know, as coaching staffs, we get along quite well. We actually exchanged film midday on Saturday when it started to get in flux. We weren't sure what was going to happen, so Coach Dressler and I talked on the phone and exchanged film earlier than the official word. Official word wasn't given until Sunday morning.
And that's an interesting topic that we won't talk about, but let's move on over to you two. You're finally a senior, and I've known your family a long time, and obviously your brother. What's it feel like to be a senior heading into district playoffs?
I don't know, it's crazy. Time flies really, and I just want to have fun and take game each by week until we get to the district championship.
Any thoughts on Miff?
I think it'll be a tough team. Obviously they had the running back out, but I feel like we can do the same thing if we keep doing what we do best.
Nice. Quarterback Kavanaugh, what's your take on the Wildcats defense?
They had a good defense last time. We just got to keep pounding the ball like we've been doing and pass the times we need to and get everything done.
And heading into district playoffs, obviously you're the 2 seed. We have Montoursville on the other side. You got to take it week by week. But it'd be pretty nice to see the Warriors back again one day.
Yeah, we'd like to play them again, but like you said, we got to take 1 week at a time. First we got to play Mifflinburg, and then it'll be another week or 2 until we get them if we do, and it'll be a good game hopefully.
And the 1 week at a time, Coach, and it's become win the week, be 1-0 for the week. You get to playoff time, and I know you got to stay focused on this week, but how do you prepare a team that they're not looking at the overall picture?
Well, I think last year was a great testament of that. We weren't necessarily looking forward, but we learned a lesson about how important it is to be prepared and be ready to play an incredibly tough game for 4 quarters against a team. We weren't able to rise to the task at hand. This year we're hoping we can rise to the task at hand. And in the past, it's been about teams that wanted to continue to play, and really not just wanted to, they needed to play with each other. I recall a few years ago when we made a good run and made our way to a district championship and then played against Scranton Prep. That team, they needed to continue to play. And it wasn't just, I want to play, they needed to be with each other. And as coaches, you know, we were looking for that camaraderie within this group. And if we could find that, I think that's the key ingredient to a playoff run.
And the beautiful thing, if you have a quality team, quality coaching staff, come playoff time, it is a new season. So whatever happened, if maybe you had an injury, maybe you got off to maybe you played a tough schedule, but by the time all that boils out at the end, it really is a new beginning.
Well, it's a whole new adventure, and we're looking forward to getting moving here. We've learned a lot about each other. We've learned a lot about the caliber of individuals we have on our roster, within our program, about the community, and we're looking forward to having a positive energy make its way into this Friday night. With this Wednesday, our middle school team's playing up at Williamsport, the 2 undefeated middle school team, so we're going to go celebrate them. I'll go watch that opportunity on Saturday. The marching band's going to be departing for their biggest show of the year, so we're going to support them. And on Friday night, all those groups are going to come together and support us in a game here. So it's really community spirit at this point. Excited about where we're headed, and certainly excited about where we could be going.
And the game will be on Webb Weekly Live with Rich, with Paul, Bo, and we love doing. But here's the thing: you got to come out if you want to see it live, because District 4 does this funny thing. For me to have the game on live, they want $2,000.
That's a lot of money.
So we're going to delay it for everybody, and you'll be able to watch it. And we'll be here, and we'll put it up on a delay basis. And I wish we could do it live, but Aiden, you got any money? We'll chip in, or you think we ought to just delay it?
No, I got to save that for content.
So anyways, that's what we're going to do, and hopefully we can get some people in District 4 to change some thinking, because I would love to be able to do games all the way through. But and the one thing about the live, I think that's misrep. I don't think it hurts the gate. I think what enables is people out of town, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, family that maybe they're in the military service. When Williamsport made the run and played Pittsburgh Central Catholic, we got a lot of comments from people that were in the military that got to watch Williamsport. And I'll leave that statement at that. But we're going to have the game, and Aiden, we're going to go out with you first. Instead of doing a shout out, funniest thing that's happened this year. Am I putting you on the spot?
Yeah, let's make sure this is appropriate as well.
I know I put Aiden on the spot. Let's do a shout out.
I want to shout out to the North Schuylkill quarterback. I hope he feels well. It's just going to take time for him, and I hope he gets well soon.
Well put, and our prayers go out. And what a terrible thing. That young man's playing a championship game 1 minute and on the way in life flight the next. And you don't like to think about those things, Coach.
No, worst case scenario. And as a community, we're coming together. There's a number of groups that have already reached out in order to start collecting funds for gas cards, for meal vouchers, for gift cards, to be able to send down to his house. It's going to be a long recovery, and within District 4, within our county, within the teams that have played, especially competed against North Schuylkill, there's a lot of respect. And so I know our youth football organizations pulling some things together. High school organization is, other groups, South Williams Sports Boosters Club, they're pulling together a collection to try to take care of this young man. It's everyone's worst fear in the sport, in any sport, worst fear.
And when something like this happens, you never want to see it happen, but you realize that everybody's a brother that puts the helmet on, and all the coaches, it's a big family, and you rally and support your fellow family members, and just a terrible thing. How about a shout out? Do you have anybody?
One thing I would say is, again, to the players, really to the seniors, as we make our way and continue to play, we understand there's some finality in this, but the reality is it's been an incredible ride. We're looking forward to extending that, and this week we're looking forward to getting to Friday night at 7 o'clock and then make our way through, battle together, and see where the chips may fall.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll be here Friday night.
That'll be good.
Can't watch it live. Anyway, young Mr. Melito, you have a funny story for me? We just want to do a shout out.
I mean, I'm drawing a blank right now, but I'll just do a shout out.
Let's do a shout out.
All right, I'd like to shout out all my family for supporting me, and all my teammates who keep working hard for every week we get, and hopefully we get every week next week.
And you understand you're on my all-hair team also, right?
Oh, thank you.
You and Malachi represent Loyalsock.
Ooh, that's a good.
So, looking good.
Thank you very much.
Shout out or story?
I'm gonna do shout out. I can't really think of anything funny right now, but I'm gonna shout out my family and Denny Stopper, because I'm with Denny all the time, and he really coaches me up every single day, and he's a good guy.
I taught him everything he knows.
He's teaching me
No, I'm joking that. I brought Denny on with the middle school, and you can't have a better guy to work with quarterbacks, and just a nice, level-headed offensive development. And does he work with you every day at practice?
Yeah, I'm with him every day. Defense sometimes, but usually I talk to him no matter what, defensive or offensive day.
Excellent. Anybody got anything they want to add, or should we get out of here and I'll go ice my back?
You can go get healthy.
I'll go get healthy.
Coach Webb has to go get healthy.
So anyway, from Ken Robbins Stadium, we'll go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
For over 33 years, Fairfield has been proud of what we sell and service. That's why we put our name on everything we sell. So whether you visit our Ford location in Williamsport or Montoursville, or our Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealerships in Muncie or Danville, or our Chevy Cadillac dealership on Route 15 in Lewisburg. You'll always experience great customer service during and long after the sale. Fairfield, you're gonna love us.
And I made the trip from Loyalsock across the creek, and we're here at Memorial Stadium. Got head coach J.C. Kiefer. Great to see you.
Great to see you. Thanks for coming over.
You're very welcome. Hey, playoffs. Before we get there, introduce yourself, boys.
Logan Ott, senior, running back and safety.
Known you a long time.
Jacob Stoner, senior, offensive defensive lineman.
How you doing, Jacob?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Hey, second season has arrived. Playoffs. Everybody's 0-0. Obviously, you're the 1 seed. What's that mean to the Warrior program now that you're consistently on top of the standings when the playoffs start?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, not a whole lot. This year, I think in particularly, last year it was important to be in one of those top couple seeds because I feel like the bracket wasn't as even, you know what I mean? And our first round game last year was a good kind of slide into the semifinals, where this year I think all 4 games are toss-up games. You know, we're the 1 and having Shamokin as the 8 seed, they're a very tough, you know, 8 seed. So I think really there's a lot of parity in 1 through 8 there.
They're not an 8 seed.
Right.
They're better than that. They didn't have some players earlier in the year. However, I do believe 3 and 7 teams should qualify for any district playoffs at any level. And I understand Shamokin's situation, but you guys won your way to a 9-1 season, took on all comers, went and played Southern that you didn't have to.
Right.
And I just think that needs to be corrected in the district playoffs. If you don't go 500, you don't belong.
Right.
And you get a ball. I mean, you deserve a ball, right, Coach?
That would be great. However, I don't have a say in that, and unfortunately, neither do you. So.
Well, you never know. Maybe in the future.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Lefty Logan, tell me about your senior year.
It's been a great season, and we just don't want it to end. We love football, all of us, all the senior class. We've come up, some of us a little early for freshman year, some of us stayed down and played a little junior high, but it's been great all of our 4 years, and we don't want it to end.
Obviously, and in a tough ball game against Selinsgrove. And what I like about you, and I've watched you in baseball, I've watched you in football, I've watched you grow up, the tougher the competition, the tougher the game, seems to bring the best out of you.
Yep, we're all competitors, and our whole team competes, and that's what we're here for. That's what we love, and we've been doing it all 4 years.
And we'll go over here to the big fella. What's it like blocking for these guys this year?
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy for some of them because sometimes we miss blocks and they just shrug guys off and keep going, and it makes our lives a little easier sometimes, but especially playing better teams, those missed blocks come a little more exposed, as our coaches told us. And so we just got to keep working and keep grinding things out.
And one thing I see and I watch things normal people don't watch, but when there's a good run, when there's a good play, when a touchdown occurs, you linemen get a lot of credit from the skilled players. And that's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
Doesn't that make you feel rewarded for a job well done?
It does. But I mean, of course, they're still the ones carrying the rock, and they're making the cuts and the moves and everything, and scoring the touchdowns. So.
Absolutely. When my kids were growing up, though, I told them the first people you thank are your linemen after anything good happens, because you couldn't get there on your own. Tell me a little bit about that, Lefty Logan. Here, I got one right here. I'm out of the screen here with a bad hip.
Our line's doing great. We got a couple young guys in there. And the seniors, especially Stoner, Travis, Will, they're helping the young guys get in there and compete the whole game. And it's just they're in the pit, they do it for us, and we just get all the credit for it, and they get all the credit too.
And the other thing, Coach, and I've seen it at Loyalsock, I talk about it, you seem to have a good big brother program here where the older guys take on the younger guys that are coming up, and they develop, and then they're the older guys, and it just keeps on flowing.
It's really important, and you're right, and we stress to our seniors about leadership, and it's one of the things that I've leaned on this year. People always come to me and say, because of the schedule we had and the year we had, you know, how do you keep these kids motivated for this game and that game? And you know, this year it's been a little different. I've leaned on my seniors for going out and executing. And one of our sayings is, great teams play great all the time, not against great teams. You know, they play great against poor teams as well. And I really have to give that to my senior leadership. I'm so ecstatic with how they conduct themselves. You know, talking about Logan, he stands on the sidelines sometimes when we're on offense because I want him to be fresh, and I rotate running backs in. And if Rocco or Jake or CJ or one of these other running back scores, Logan's the first one out there to give him a high five, and that's selfless football. If he was upset about not getting that carry, then you'd have some animosity within the team. The chemistry goes, and you can't be as successful as you'd like to be. So I really got to give these guys a lot of credit for that.
Absolutely, but it starts with leadership and understanding, and you have the program cooking here from the time the kids are young up through. The one thing I see too, and from the coach, and I've said it before, it doesn't matter if it's the first team, the third team, the first kid, the 50th kid. When the kids are on the field, they're getting encouraged, like you say, but they're also, they know what the heck they're doing.
That's right. And we compete. Logan brought it up early. We compete all the time. You guys, I don't know if you got here early enough at this practice, but we had to separate two kids. And maybe that's not really from the outside perspective what you want, but it is what you want from a coach, because they're going to be buddies here, when we walk in that locker room. But we want them getting after each other out here in the practice field, and we compete every snap, every play, and everything we do, and I think you see that on Friday nights come out.
People on the outside might not understand looking in, but the intensity that goes on at practice, by the time the kids hit the locker room, it's over.
Right.
But the intensity that goes on to the game, you have to be prepared for that.
That's right.
And by the way, when I come to watch practice, I don't see anything, just so you know. So I'm going to jump back in the shot here. I'm nursing a bad hip here. And I want to congratulate you guys on a good season and wish you good luck. It's going to be a tough ball game. I think you're ready for the challenge against Shamokin. Gary Chrisman's in the same boat I am. He's taking a week off. And Webb Weekly Live will have Loyalsock and Mifflinburg, which seems to be the best matchup, but maybe not. I'm hoping that. But what I want to tell you guys, we're going to pick you back up here probably the following week and get you on Webb Weekly Live. Probably Gary will pick you up. But the one thing I want to compliment your players on, and then we're going to get out of here. My hip's killing me. And I wasn't going to go back to the last game, but you have a team of gentlemen. And I don't think I could have kept my cool if I was one of your players this past Friday night, and we'll let it at that. And I don't think my son Hunter could have either, but we'll let it at that. But to a man, you can be proud of your kids in the way they answered the call against Selinsgrove, and they were worried about one thing: staying together as a team and playing football.
Yep.
And that bodes well down the playoff line.
Absolutely, for sure. I'm extremely proud of the way they conducted themselves Friday night in that manner of a game, and I think that's obviously part of a recipe for a successful football team.
Fantastic. Hey, I'm going to let you guys get out of here. That's it for another episode of Webb Weekly Live. Thanks to the good folks at Fairfield Auto Group. I hope we're watching you guys play right into December.
Thanks.
See you next week.
Inside handoff. Oh, on the bootleg. Grease, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Williamsport, great keep.
First quarter. On their third play from scrimmage, quarterback Brent Burley's pass gets picked off by Logan Ott and returned for a touchdown to put the Warriors up 7-0.
Play action. Coleman good. Back to pass. Got a man there going up. What a catch! 25, 20, 15, 10. Touchdown. 67 yards. Coleman.
Pass. Steps up, wants it all. Throws. Got Brock Boyer down the field. Nice. Did he catch it? Touchdown. Brock Boyer. Good coverage. Dallas Grease. Kavanaugh back to pass. Looking deep out. Watkins has it at the 20, 15, 10,
He's going to score.
5.
Touchdown.
He's going to score. Touchdown. Touchdown.
With 6.2
touchdown,
seconds
Reese
left.
Watkins. Reese Watkins scores with 6 seconds to go from 30 yards out. Chase Kavanaugh to Reese Watkins again. That's the second time. 6 seconds to go. And he is in for the score.